cheating. He's admitted he's wrong.
Actually, he hasn't.
And she says his family was helping.
She claims her mother-in-law moved the mistress right into her house.
Is there too much meddling?
I would never allow my daughter to cheat on her husband under my roof.
By two mothers-in-law?
We weren't trying to break up a family.
What did you think was going to happen?
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Take a look at this beautiful young couple's happiest moments in their 16-year relationship, from graduation to their wedding, to the birth of their first child and building a family together. The wife said she even had a good relationship with her mother-in-law, or so she thought. That is, until her husband moved in with his mother in a different state in order to go to school to better their family's life. It was then that Caitlin learned that not only was Robert cheating on her, but she claims that her mother-in-law rolled out the welcome mat and moved the mistress right into her house. Now, Caitlin describes her husband Robert as an unfaithful, angry, and manipulative man. But Robert says, whoa, 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 hang on. It takes two to tango here. He claims that Caitlin has been volatile and violent, teaming up with her mother, Dale, to antagonize him. Now, to make matters worse, Robert and Caitlin's two young children have been front row for all of this, and they have seen more drama-filled dysfunction than any child should ever have to witness. Take a look.
Don't cry. It's nothing to cry over. When you get older, you'll see. Hopefully it'll be dead by then.
Wow. Seriously. The only thing it seems like all four people agree on is that this family is on the fast track to disaster if something doesn't change. That's why they're here. Listen to what Caitlin had to say.
Rob is a sad, angry, manipulative, aggressive, vindictive guy. Rob has been verbally abusive to me since we met 16 years ago. From very early on, Rob has called me a slut, a whore, anything to be nasty and mean. One time when we were 15, he actually pulled me by my hair across his back porch. So he used to pinch me when he was mad, clipping my arms, my back. It was enough that it would hurt and leave marks and bruises. Rob has threatened to kill me many, many times. The last time Rob told me he was going to kill me was 6 days ago. He pushed me up against the wall and told me that he was going to put a pickaxe through my head. Rob leaves bruises on me. I have one right now on my shoulder. Like he flips the switch and he's off. And there's no bringing him back. It's terrifying when he gets like that. After the fight, he took off to his friend's house. I called him because I needed the car. When Rob came back, my daughter and I were in the car with Rob. Rob was bad-mouthing me to Julie and telling my daughter that her life would be better off without me in it. And I decided to take my phone out and try recording him.
The best thing that can happen if your mom passed away is life to go back to normal. You're going to come to me and say, Dad, you were right.
When he saw me recording him, he freaked out, and that's when he threw my phone out the window. After he threw my stuff out the window, I got mad and I slapped him in the arm, and then I climbed in the back seat with my daughter because she was crying. The thought of Rob killing me has crossed my mind.
Well, Robert says his own anger isn't the only problem here, and that Caitlin has proven to be just as volatile.
Caitlin is controlling, dramatic, and violent. Caitlin is always holding things over my head and guilt-tripping me. She's also very aggressive. She sent me text messages stating that she wanted me and my family dead. Things have been horrible and toxic between us. I met Caitlin back in 2000 and we've been fighting ever since. Caitlin flips out on me verbally all the time. Physically, she has kicked me, slapped me, punched me, and thrown things at me. Whenever we fight, I'm always the bad guy. I'm always put on the spot and made to look like I'm at fault. She definitely antagonizes me to get the reactions out of me. In the beginning of the year, Caitlin had a psychotic episode. She destroyed my tent with a razor blade and a pair of scissors, and she destroyed my paint booth with a baseball bat. Caitlin called me during her rage. She's calling me a loser, a drug addict, a thief. I've seen Caitlin out of control before, but I've never ever seen her snap like that. I definitely need some help with anger issues, but she's definitely needing some assistance too, because she is not in her right mind and she knows how to push me over the edge. Last week I moved out of the house because it was constant conflict. I'm glad I left. It wasn't a healthy situation.
Okay, I just want to jump right in here because there's a lot of stuff I want to cover. How long have y'all known each other?
16 years.
And so that's, you met when?
I was 13, he was 14.
So since you were like middle school?
Yep.
Little kids, yeah,
Little
basically.
kids.
Has it occurred to you that you're still behaving like you were in middle school?
Yep.
Kind of, yeah, treating the relationship like we're kids still.
With your parents, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He can be very unbearable sometimes. I walk
Right.
on eggshells every single day.
You said he threatened to kill you by putting a pickaxe through your skull.
Yes, he did.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, tell me how that comes up in conversation. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to hit you in the head with a pickaxe.
It's just building up of anger, aggression, throwing things in my face, always hanging things over my head.
He
Oh, I
snapped.
get that. Listen, couples argue. Couples get frustrated with each other. How does it go from you annoy me to I'm going to put a pickaxe in your head?
Yeah, it's not right. I know
No,
that.
I know it's not right. I'm just saying, how does it go from the annoyances of marriage to I'm going to put a pickaxe in your head? I'm not asking that sarcastically. I really want to know how you go from the annoyances of marriage to I'm going to put a pickaxe in your head.
It's like flipping a switch sometimes. It's just overwhelms me, comes over me, and I act out in anger.
Are you going to kill somebody?
No.
When he gets that look in his eye, I don't know.
Are you agitating this situation?
I don't try to. I'm sure I do.
Did you take a baseball bat and go bash in his paint booth?
It wasn't a baseball bat, but yeah.
What did you do?
destroyed it.
What'd you use?
I don't remember. It was a giant wrench or something. I don't know what it was.
Well, he said a baseball bat. I don't know. You took some weapon.
Yep.
You took something and go smashed it all up. How do you go from he's annoying me?
I hated him at that moment. I did.
Oh, I get that.
I don't know. I flipped the switch that day. I did, and I've taken it and taken it and taken it for years.
So y'all
And
y'all are
not.
telling me that this flip switching that goes on, that you get to a point that you lose control.
Yes,
Basically,
I did.
yeah.
You kicked him out last week.
Yes, I did.
You say you just left.
Oh, she wanted me gone, so I wasn't
told her
going
not
to
to
make
come
the
back.
situation any more hostile than it already was.
Okay, this is a text from Robert to Caitlin. Okay, so Robert, read your text here.
Let's see. It says, "Aw, cry. You're
What
a
was the
bitch."
next word after cry? I've got a beeper. Okay, go ahead.
You're a bitch. You were I don't know, probably
A bitch.
or a bitch when I talked to you this morning. Then you bitched at your mom, then on to Julie, then me. You. You're a piece of whore that deserves a good ass beating. Don't worry, I'll find someone to jump you when you're out
Go ahead.
shopping and you will be tore apart.
And they will what?
Tear you apart.
So, tell me what goes through your mind when you're typing this to the mother of your children.
I'm obviously not thinking about the fact that she's the mother of my children.
Don't worry, I'll find someone to jump you when you're out shopping and they will tear you apart. I'm going to hire a hitman, somebody that's going to jump you when you're out shopping and tear you apart?
It's words, and words hurt, okay? But people say things every day that they don't mean. Do you say things when you're angry?
Well, I've been with my wife 44 years, and I've never said I was going to hire anybody to tear her apart.
I'm sure you had your differences, yeah?
Absolutely. No question about it. Mm-hmm. We certainly have differences.
I mean, that's why I'm reaching out to you. That's why I'm here. I don't want to lose her.
Well, why does Caitlin describe her mother-in-law as a sneaky, lying you-know-what? Well, we'll hear that story, plus meet both mother-in-laws face-to-face when we come back. Let's just get everybody involved here.
Rob was having an affair.
It was a fling. It only lasted about 3 weeks.
What made everything worse, Rob's mother allowed his girlfriend to move in.
It's not like we went out and found Robert a girlfriend and said, here's your present.
Susan condoned the affair.
I don't know if I was more mad at him or Susan for allowing it to go on in her house.
And later, have you been inappropriate with your children?
No more than my father was with me, that's for sure. That's what's lost in America today. There's a lack of discipline.
What you're doing is a drop-dead deal breaker. As if Caitlin and Ryan's relationship wasn't volatile enough just between the two of them, both of them take issues with their in-laws, and their in-laws seem to be happy to get involved in the melee. Robert says Caitlin's mom is a dramatic, manipulative meddler, and Caitlin says she thought she had a good relationship with Robert's mom, Susan, until Susan did what Caitlin says is the unthinkable.
Last May, Caitlin and I decided that it would be a good idea for me to go to Florida, stay with my parents, and attend welding school. I was in Florida about 4 months before I met this other woman.
He took it upon himself to tell me that he was seeing somebody. I found her on Facebook and I messaged her.
It was a fling. It only lasted about 3 weeks.
What made everything worse was I found out that Rob's mother allowed his girlfriend to move into their house with them.
Caitlin blamed me for Robert having an affair, which wasn't my fault. I didn't make him go have an affair. It's not like we went out and found Robert a girlfriend and brought her to our house and said, here, here's your present.
My parents got along well with her.
Susan condoned the affair. I would never allow my daughter to cheat on her husband under my roof. When I first heard about the affair, I wanted to put my hands on Rob's throat and choke him myself.
I don't know if I was more mad at him for doing what he did or Susan for allowing it to go on in her house.
After the affair, Caitlin went and told other family members things that we considered family secrets. Caitlin really hit below the belt to purposely try to hurt us.
Her response to me was, he was in love, what's a mother to do?
I was furious with Susan. Why would she say something like that to her daughter-in-law, the mother of her grandchildren? Susan is a cold person. She seems to be a superior narcissist.
Caitlin and I had a conversation, and I told her that if she had gone home and told her mother she had fallen madly in love with somebody, that her mother would have done the same thing.
Okay, now, he came to stay with you for how long?
It was supposed to be like 7 months.
And how long had he been there when he fell madly in love?
We didn't know about it at first. So we found out about it when he came and told us.
When did he? How long had he been there when he came and told you?
He's been with us since January.
So 5 months in, he came and said, I found somebody and I'm madly in love? Mm-hmm. And they carried on their relationship there.
She could no longer stay where she was, and he came and asked, actually didn't ask me, he asked his father, if she could stay there, or we were afraid he was going to...
Oh, she moved in.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
She sure did.
He was either, we were afraid he was going to leave with her, and then we would not have a clue as to what was going on, and he would be out of school. So we thought the lesser of two evils, so there we could keep an eye of things.
Right? Break up a family.
No, we weren't trying to break up a family.
Okay, but what did you think was going to happen,
Wait a minute.
Susan?
It wasn't us. He made
Why
that
did you
decision.
call me crying?
I was
How
very
many
upset.
times?
I didn't want
Why'd
him.
your husband?
Right. We were trying to talk to him at the time and tell him,
God.
you know, think about what you're doing. Do you
Kid,
really?
where did you meet this? You were in school. Did you meet her at school?
No, I met her online.
Met her online?
Mm-hmm.
He meets several online.
So you were looking.
Yep.
Yeah, I was depressed, lonely. I was going through time with my dad. He got diagnosed with cancer, and
Did I go do that?
No.
Because I was depressed? Because I was home dealing with the kids, paying bills, going to work every day. Did I go out and find somebody?
No,
No, I didn't. Because that's wrong.
it is.
Go ahead and admit you're wrong now.
I admit that I'm
Don't
wrong.
justify your actions because there's
I'm
no
not trying
justification.
to justify. I'm just saying
You
I
are,
had
though. You are,
problems in
though.
my life, and yeah, I made a bad mistake.
Yep, me too. Never cheated on you though.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yep.
When we were younger and
Okay, before we were married, before
whatever,
we
it
even
doesn't
had
matter.
kids,
There
we
was
were
still-
stupid young kids.
still
Yep.
your parents still hid things. I called your house one day and your mother told me you weren't there, that you were staying at your aunt's and you're actually sleeping over at another guy's house.
How old was I?
Doesn't
Yep,
matter.
I
It
was
still
stupid.
happened.
I was stupid. I
How
did
old were
not
you?
have kids. Maybe 15, 16
No,
years
I was
old.
older than that because I was driving.
Rob, I wasn't married. I had no kids. I didn't have a family.
That's fine.
You went to Florida to better our life, and you go hook up.
But
There's
I was-
no justification.
I mean, he said he's wrong. He's
Yes,
admitted
he
he's
is wrong. Yes.
Actually, he hasn't.
Well, he has to us. Maybe not here right now.
A few minutes ago, I told you that. I agree. I told you that I agree that I'm wrong.
He has.
Well, you haven't said anything that doesn't have a but in the sentence. I mean, and I'm trying
That's
to.
fine.
I'm sorry.
I said that's fine.
Well, you seem like you have a real chip on your shoulder.
Not so much a chip on my shoulder. It's just the fact that, you know, people want to put me on the spot and make me look like the bad guy. You know, there's more to the story always.
Listen, I'm going to ask you the questions. If you don't want to answer them, don't
Well, I'll
answer them.
answer whatever you
I'm
ask
going to
me.
ask you the questions,
That's fine.
and
I'll
you say
take
putting you on the
criticism, that's
spot.
fine.
Answer the questions, or
No, that's
hit me in the
fine.
head with a pickaxe. I don't know, but I'm going to ask you the questions.
No, that's fine.
And you
That's
say
fine.
if there's more to the story, tell me more to the story.
That's
but
fine.
don't get upset if I don't buy it.
No, you're fine.
I don't buy it. You say, well, I was kind of down, so I got on the internet and started looking for somebody. Took her home to my mother, and they said, yeah, move in. That seems to me like an asinine strategy at life. I'm sorry.
Trying to get my kids to go down to meet her.
Now, okay, right now, you guys are all living in your home?
My home.
And Dale, you said you have zero tolerance for this cheating and beating.
I do not agree with that in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely not.
Who else in the household has been a target of Robert's rage? We'll talk about that after the break. You say, we love each other. So what? What the hell difference does that make?
My mother-in-law, Dale, is overbearing, enabling, and aggressive.
My mother-in-law, Susan, she's a lying bitch. Susan and I have no relationship since she allowed her son to have an affair under her roof.
Caitlin knows how to push his buttons to send him off the deep end.
I'm afraid of Rob in my own home. We all wait for Rob's next explosion.
My mother-in-law thinks that there's a medication that'll fix everything.
My daughter is mildly autistic and she is on medication. Susan thinks that I should not be giving my daughter any medication.
I live with Dale. It causes me a lot of stress and anxiety.
Susan absolutely knows that Rob has physically abused me. And if she says that she doesn't, then she's lying.
Well, Robert, Caitlin, and their two children, ages 4 and 7, have lived in Caitlin's mother, Dale's house for over 3 years, except when Robert took a break to live in Florida with his mother while he was in school. And that didn't turn out so well, and now his mother-in-law is at odds with son-in-law, and daughter-in-law is at odds with her mother-in-law. I went through and made a list of how y'all describe one another.
No boy.
And wrote it down. Robert, here's how they describe you. Abusive, negative, selfish, scary narcissist, sad, angry, manipulative, aggressive, vindictive, liar, loser, drug addict, thief, terrifying. Has no idea how to talk to the kids, can't keep a job, violent tipper, never known when he's going to blow, has stolen from our family. And then, Caitlin, they start talking about you. Controlling, dramatic, violent, aggressive, antagonizing, manipulative with the kids, guilt-tripping, too much of a pushover, vindictive, gets in Rob's face and he blows up, always looks like the victim, never admits faults, pushes the buttons. Susan, they've got a list for you. Stubborn, manipulative, a lying bitch, the ultimate enabler, sneaky, major denial, cold-hearted narcissist, looks down on our family, covers up for Rob. Dale, they got a list for you. Dramatic, overbearing, enabling, aggressive, always interfering. Everything is dramatic in her house. There's a pill for everything. And guess who said that?
I know.
Obsessed with what other people think of her. Social media stalker, no life, no friends, no filter, gossiper, and two-faced. Boy, I want to come to Thanksgiving with you people. I want to get around the table with you guys. Let's take a road trip.
You're invited.
Good God. Really? January of 16, you say he attacked you. Did he throw you against the wall?
Yes.
In front of your daughter?
Yep.
What does she do when this happens? When you two get going?
She screams and cries.
You tell your daughter things were going to be a whole lot better when Mommy died?
In the car.
Yeah, I did.
Let's play this video of Robert that Caitlin took in the car while their 7-year-old daughter was present. She's in the back seat. Take a look at this.
Don't cry. It's nothing to cry over. When you get older, you'll see. Hopefully it'll be dead by then. The best thing that can happen is your mom passed away and life will go back to normal. She has too much influence on everybody's life. You need to bust the frig out. Close your mouth. You're out close to the border.
Wow. You started out by saying, don't cry. There's nothing to cry about. So she was already upset, right? And so you thought the best strategy to calm her down.
No, I was not thinking, that's for sure.
Would be to say, look, don't cry, this will be better when your mother's dead, and she's going to shut her mouth or I'll shut it for her.
That's not the right thing to say, for sure.
Role play for me here a minute. Stand in your daughter's shoes. She's riding along in the car. She's already crying and upset. And she's just heard you say, things will be better when Mommy passes away. And she's going to shut her mouth or I'm going to shut it for her. Tell me what she's saying to herself.
My dad's a lunatic, basically. What is he thinking? Why does he hate my mother?
I've spoken to a lot of children that have heard that kind of thing, and they've told me what they're thinking, and it includes some things that he's not considering. And I'm going to tell you exactly what those things are when we come back, and I think you're going to find it shocking. We'll be right back.
Caitlin has accused me of being abusive towards the kids, but that has not happened.
He physically took his hands and pushed her up against the wall.
I'd put my arm up as a natural reaction, like this, to just block her from coming at me. Her shirt brushed up against her chest and left a small red mark.
He is a liar. It's not true.
Closed captioning provided by...
The kids see a lot of the fighting. My 4-year-old son, he'll intervene by yelling, and my daughter will actually get physically involved.
My daughter used to blame me when her dad would leave. It's not like that anymore. Now she told me she doesn't want him to come home.
Caitlin has texted me that the kids hate me, don't want to talk to me, don't want anything to do with me. She uses a lot of manipulation with the kids. She says things to my daughter like it's always nice when daddy's not around.
Rob leaves for days at a time. It's like he doesn't care about the kids. I'm left to explain where their father is and when he's even going to come home.
You know, the real victims of this volatile relationship are not these mother-in-laws. It's really not the spouses. It's Robert and Caitlin's 2 children, whom they both say have seen the threats and the violence and the anger. And while Robert says he's never been abusive to the children, Caitlin says otherwise.
Rob has no idea how to talk to the kids. He threatens he's going to whoop their ass. He calls them stupid, idiot.
Caitlin's accused me of being abusive towards the kids, but that has not happened.
A couple months ago, our son Brian was having a tantrum. Rob got mad, picked him up, placed him on the ground, and wouldn't let him up. Our daughter Julie stepped in.
She came charging at me. I put my arm up as a natural reaction, like this, to just block her from coming at me.
He is a liar. It's not true.
Her shirt brushed up against her chest and left a small red mark. My wife accused me of abuse.
He said, "No one runs at me like that." He physically took his hands and put her arms like this and pushed her up against the wall.
My wife thinks that I physically hurt my daughter or tried to abuse her, but I did not.
He thinks if he isn't physically hitting a child, then he's not abusing them. If you were to ask Julie about some of the things that he's done, she would probably think she's abused.
Have you been inappropriate with your children?
Verbally, for sure. Physically, a little bit. No more than my father was with me, that's for sure. That's what's lost in America today is discipline without the abuse. I mean, a lot of people take it too far and take it to abuse, but there's a lack of discipline for sure.
How'd those red marks get on her chest? Don't be defensive, just tell me how they got.
She charged at me, and as a natural reaction, she was headed towards my groin area, and I put my arm up. And yeah, I did a little bit more than just push her off. I kind of held her up against the wall because I didn't want her to flail at me and hit me, because when she gets in her fits, she can be pretty damaging for a little girl.
What you're doing is a drop-dead deal breaker. And I've said to the 2 of you, you say, we love each other. And I say, so what? What the hell difference does that make? So you love each other. What the hell difference does that make? That does not give you the right to subject these children to what you are subjecting them to.
I agree.
Well, what that says is because we have this emotional feeling, we love each other, you don't destroy 2 young lives to get an occasional warm feeling that you love each other. That's putting your agenda ahead of theirs. I love him. Well, if he is volatile and is blowing up with you and the children, I don't care if you love him. You have a duty to protect your children. Do you think you are a child abuser?
No.
That is grounds for removing those children from your custody. Bang. Drop dead. Closed captioning provided by Do you think you are a child abuser?
No. When I put them in that situation, I guess so.
Oh, well, let me tell you, the definition of child abuse includes neglect. And neglect is defined in part is if you fail to keep your children out of harm's way, if you know there is danger, you know there's volatility, you know that those children are in danger, and you fail to remove them from that situation, that is a definition of negligence. I'm trained in forensic psychology. I have worked as an officer of the court. I am telling you that is negligence. That is negligence. You owe the children better than that. And I don't say that because I believe that you want to go home and abuse your children physically, although you went too far with her on that point. I think that was reflexive. I don't think she cares why it happened. It just did.
Definitely
I think you are
abusive.
mentally and emotionally abusive with your children. When you say, boy, when your mom's dead, things will be better, that is grounds for removing those children from your custody. Bang, drop dead. Deal over. Deal over. And that is abuse. My wife, Robin, has a foundation, When Georgia Smiled. It is devoted solely, singularly, totally to the support of victims, men and women, of domestic violence and their children. And she's developed protocols for this that are used in schools and churches and individually throughout the United States. She's been recognized by the United Nations, on the floor of Congress, I mean, everywhere, for her leadership in this area. What's happening here, it's called the Aspire Initiative. What's happened here, this is clearly abuse. True?
True.
On both of their parts.
Yes, both of them are guilty of it, yes.
I said I was going to tell you some things that your daughter is thinking that you don't know she's thinking. You said that she's thinking, wow, I hope this doesn't happen, and my dad's a lunatic, etc. You know what else she's thinking? She's thinking two basic things that you're not considering. Number one, she's thinking, somehow this is my fault.
She said that.
And she does blame herself a lot.
How do I know that? And you own that.
Yeah, I do.
How do you feel about that?
Terrible. Heartbroken. That's my baby.
And the other thing she's thinking is my world could come crashing down at any second. Because to her, her parents are like an island out in the middle of the ocean. And to the extent she feels safe and secure, she can get off the island and swim out a little ways. And if she knows that island's going to be there, she can swim a little further because she knows she can always come back. But if she thinks it's not secure, she can go out a little ways and turn around and it's gone and she's just adrift. And when it's volatile, when she doesn't know from 1 minute to the next, one day to the next, whether it's just going to all blow up and be gone, then she never develops the self-esteem, never the self-confidence, never the self-worth to go out into the world and feel confident because she knows she has a solid base of operations that she can always go back to. Because she never knows when you two are going to blow it the hell up. Would you die for your children?
Any day.
The real question is, will you live for them?
That's what I have to start
Will
doing.
you change your life for those children? With 9 people in the house, is it any wonder this volatile situation is coming to the head? I'm going to tell you what the danger is, and I'm going to tell you that I have one singular goal when we come back.
Rob went to court last week for the resisting arrest charge. There's a protection order in place. He's not allowed to make me feel threatened in any way.
At any time where they feel threatened or harassed, I can be sent back to jail. Dale and Caitlin always hold the order of protection over my head.
He doesn't care at all about a protection order. It's a piece of paper.
The other day, Caitlin said to me she thought it was time to get a divorce, and I told her let's wait and go on Dr. Phil and see what Dr. Phil has to say about it. Doing this show is our last resort. If Rob doesn't take Dr. Phil's advice, then maybe it is time to walk away.
Well, the good news is Robert's going to take my advice. I know that. The truth is, you're experiencing a lot of pain and a lot of fear.
Definitely.
And everybody judges you for what you do. I don't want to judge you for what you do. I want to help you with what you feel.
I appreciate that.
Okay? And I want to tell you the danger that we're talking about here. Three is the number of women that are murdered every day in America by an intimate partner. 3 a day. 5 times more women are victims of domestic violence, either serious assault or murder, than are men. 85% of the victims of murder are women. And 100 women per hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, are beat on by an intimate partner in the United States. Since we began this show, 100 women have been beaten by an intimate partner. Spouse, live-in boyfriend, whatever. So over the years, we've had a lot of women who have been horribly abused that have been on this stage and lived to tell about it.
A woman tries to get away from the father of her child minutes before he sets her on fire.
He beat her so badly, her mother did not recognize her.
Every bone in my face had been broken. My face was ripped from the bone. He bit my ear off.
Tossed her around, choked her, headbutted her.
Why don't you just get a divorce and leave?
Because she's my soulmate.
I opened the door. He had a butcher knife in his hand. I didn't even really realize that I had lost my eye.
Christopher Haney doused his wife, Audrey Mabry, with flammable liquid.
He tossed the candle at me, and I went up in flames.
He started chopping me in the back of the head with a machete.
The injuries, authorities say, were caused by this woman's husband. We begin to tell the tale of the deadly scene.
We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by... I said there was one goal, one singular goal that I have here. It's not to save this marriage. The one singular goal here that I have is for the two of you to be able to sit down with your children right in front of you and say, I am so sorry for what I have done. Please forgive me for what I have done. We are going to spend the rest of our lives making it up to you. The worst thing that could happen is if you said that and violated it. You cannot say that until you know with confidence that you can deliver on that, which means you have some work to do. I want you to rely on these mother-in-laws to babysit here for a short period of time, because I want the two of you to go away together. I want the two of you to go to a place called On-Site. This is in Nashville, Tennessee, and it is a worldwide leader in intensive workshops for people that have been through emotional trauma. You are highly traumatized.
Definitely.
You've been damaged in your life, and you're fortunate that you've got a mother that loves you very much.
Very fortunate.
And God bless you for standing by your son and loving him like you do. And I'm glad that you do. But you need to call time out and put yourself in the shop. And they're going to work with you all individually. They're going to work with you as a couple. And when you leave there, you're going to be ready to sit down in front of your children and say, we're sorry. And then we're going to follow up with you guys having a family counselor that's going to help you weave this into your family going forward. You willing to do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
You excited about it?
Yeah.
You willing to do this?
Without a doubt. Thank you very much.
All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Miles Adcox and On-Site for helping this family. They deserve it. These children damn sure deserve it. If you or someone you know is dealing with a feuding family, log on to drphil.com. You can tell me about it. I do want to know. We'll see you next time.